Hello everybody, long time no see. Welcome back to another CSGO News episode. I hope you guys all enjoy. Now, I've been gone for the past 4 to 5 days, so I do apologize. I'm going to miss probably some stories out there. We're going to do a giant recap of all, of course, the large stories that have happened in CSGO News. As always, it will be timestamped down below in the description, as well as hopefully the comment section. One of you guys does leave a timestamp. But also, first of all, I do want to thank you guys. Well, while I was away, I was actually gone for 4 to 5 days at a thing here in Las Vegas called the Esports Business Conference. And I think I learned a lot more about the business industry, the industry that is the business side of the esports industry. And it was great. It was unfortunate I was gone for so long, but also thank you guys. While I was gone, we actually broke 2,000 subscribers on our esports talk. That is our esports news channel, which I will be doing CSGO News on that channel. I'll be uploading those videos before I upload videos to this channel. So for all of you guys who want more up-to-date CSGO News and more frequent CSGO News, that's going to be the channel in the future that I actually go to. And eventually I'm going to stop posting CSGO News on this channel, and eventually I'll branch out other content CSGO related that's not news on this channel, but CSGO News Daily will eventually be on that channel down below. Hope you guys all enjoy. So much has happened, and the first thing I do want to touch on, of course, is actually going to be G2, allegedly according to Nell, will not be making changes to their roster. Now, it was actually first based off a tweet where apparently, of course, that HQ for G2 is located in Berlin, and we actually had Scream on his Instagram story or some kind of story saying he was actually in Cologne, Germany, which of course is in the same general airspace, general space as well, and actually confirmed by Nell. Apparently, G2 will not be making changes. Now, this follows so many rumors out there, which we thought definitely preluded to the fact that G2 would actually be going there. The first of which, of course, their poor major performance. The second of which, their poor ESL New York performance. After they even beat FaZe Clan, they then lost consecutive series to Liquid NRG. Then Ocelot, their owner, their very CEO and owner, had very, very seldom tweets out there, and actually some tweets that, although seldom, definitely marked a changing point, a turning point of that team of some sort. I'll put those tweets on screen for the countless time. You guys have definitely seen these tweets, and now, allegedly, according to Nell, they're not going to be changing any of their roster, which I don't understand. Although currently they're doing, I guess you could say, average in ESL Pro League. I definitely think they've struggled in some of those losses. So we're going to see how that actually plays out, guys. It does seem, for the time being, G2 will not make changes. I honestly have no idea what I keep doing to actually earn a sponsor, but huge thanks to CS Money. You guys you don't have to click the link, okay? But I thank you very much to them. Their link will be down below. A great place to buy, sell, trade skins. If you guys want to support me, if you ever do want to trade or buy, sell skins, my link will always be there. But do me a big favor. If you guys support the sponsor at all, or even just want good giveaway items, thanks to Juliana at CS Money. She's a girl, and she must like the channel, or she likes you guys. You guys can comment down below. Do me a favor, just comment any skin in CSGO that I should give away on my Twitter, and I'll choose one to give away for all of you. So again, thank you guys. I know you don't have to use a sponsor, but it means a lot to me to have this sponsor. So thank you guys. Now back to energetic Red Bull Jake. I got caffeine out my eyes. And also in big news, and by big news I mean kind of clickbaity news out there, Doc is not banned in CSGO, but people do forget he actually was handed a malicious ban about a year ago. It's going to be expiring here in about less than a month, and apparently because of this ESEA ban, he can no longer compete in the ESL Proximus tournament. Now, I'm not sure if I mispronounced Proximus, but it's actually a tournament there. He was going to play with some other Belgian teams for that Belgian Epsilon roster, Scream and Malik and some other Belgian guys. He will have to be replaced in that roster because his ESEA ban, unfortunately enough, keeps him from those qualifiers. Now, ESL Proximus, apparently the qualifiers were going to be on ESL servers, or at least non-ESEA servers. They then switched over a bit last minute, actually, now to ESEA servers, and there's no way to bypass that. Although his ban is a malicious ban, so, in-game toxicity, we're not going to lie about this, or maybe of some other sort, maybe not communicating. That's why the ban was given to him. Not cheating, not anything terribly bad in CSGO. Because of that, it cannot be bypassed, and he has to actually find a replacement for that roster, for that tournament qualifier. So unfortunately enough, guys, Doc will not be there with Scream and Malik, although they've been playing together the past few weeks. But do not worry, he's not actually banned in CSGO. I apologize if I clickbaited any of you guys in somewhat way. Now, speaking of Scream, though, he's actually still been playing for Fnatic on that roster. And of course, big news, and I'm sure many of you guys are sadly happy about this because a lot of you guys are devious people that like to see other people in despair. It's actually going to be, no surprise, Draken finally leaving that roster. He was very expected, of course, after the major to leave that roster, and it will be, to no surprise as well, Red Reserve member who was actually released last month and definitely their best player. That's going to be Twist returning to the Fnatic roster in place of Draken, and of course it will still be Scream in place of Flusha throughout the first few matches here in Pro League. They split a series with Heroic. It does seem he's going to stick with that roster until they find a new fifth. I think according to Ryan at Rush B, it's going to be Brawlin to join that roster, and I still don't think that Fnatic is heading in the right direction. You guys could have a different opinion about this, but that roster is is still using Scream for the time being. Are they going to use him in the future? That's not sure. Now, speaking of course, teams who are also going to use stand-in players or players that are on the transfer list, that's going to be Gambit Gaming. Of course, they're still looking for an established IGL. It's Mo who's going to leave that roster, as well as on top of that, going to be Hobbit eventually. Hobbit is confirmed to be on the transfer list. He'll be staying with the team, though, for Star Series Season 6. So until that does pass, we're going to see how this Gambit Gaming roster does. Although a top 4 finish at ESL New York, you got to think about prize pool-wise. Is that really enough to stick these guys together? Is that a solidified enough, of course, position to actually make them want to go further together? It seems likely not. Although it was a great finish for them, a great group stage at least, it does not seem it's going to be enough, guys. Hobbit will stay with them for Star Series, and unless they win Star Series, this team will definitely change. And speaking of Fnatic, guys, actually Fnatic Academy officially released their roster. If you do remember, I talked about this a long time ago, the Gamers Show. It was run on Twitch pretty seasonally. I think they're going to be still coming back with individual countries. I think it was actually Sweden and maybe Norway. It was a Danish country for the second season as well. The Gamers series there, the winner of that actually became Fnatic Academy. It was first going to be a 3-month contract. They re-signed them to a 5-month contract because of some consistent success over there. They've now officially released those guys, and it seems to probably be because they did not even make Mountain Dew League. Although, if you remember, this Fnatic Academy, notoriously a different roster, Fnatic Academy, that was eventually changed. That was the most successful Academy roster in all of CSGO, and I touched on this on the Esports Talk channel. It's pretty shocking to see the lack of Academy teams out there who have any prolonged success. If you look at the old Fnatic Academy roster, they are one of the few teams who actually lasted as long as they did. I believe at least a year. I could be wrong on that, but they still made the most prize pool money of any Academy team out there, although they got very lucky with their tournament placements. They got invited to, I believe it was some tournament in China where it was only 8 teams, and it was only like one other top tier team out there, and then them, and they were much better than the rest of the competition. They placed second or third and got an insane amount of prize pool money. Nonetheless, though, it shows you the lack of, I guess, support of Academy teams here. Fnatic Academy has now released this Gamers TV team, and they are now gone for good under that umbrella. Will they re-sign a new Academy team? It seems very unlikely. Now, speaking of Academy teams, why I'm talking about this is because you look at other esports out there, they definitely thrive, you know, especially in League of Legends or especially the Contender Series for Overwatch. These Academy teams are fed so well, they're cultured so well, they're nurtured so well into the upper tiers, and we don't really see that too often with these teams. Now, that could be a lack of funding, it could be a lack of establishment, but you would think a game like CSGO would do a much better job than it does. And speaking of that, guys, Big Clan have now announced their new Academy team. There is no way. And if you guys do, you're big fans, legit big fans, you're not going to recognize any team names of this, but I do like it. You know, a bunch of no names. I don't mean that in a rude way, but a bunch of up-and-comers have now been signed to Big Clan Academy, and they will be brought to them by Omen. So I assume that team was probably paid for by Omen and not by Big Clan, and so we'll see how long this roster actually lasts. Unless it sees success, it probably will only last as long as a partnership was agreed for, but we'll see how well they do. Academy teams in CSGO are still something that really shocks me, are not built better. And also, very lastly, for CSGO news today, I will have another episode probably tomorrow or maybe Saturday as well. It's going to be a packed episode. I know there's a lot of news out there that I'm not going to touch on in this episode. The first of which, the souvenir in-game drops, apparently dropping prices. That's going to be a huge complaining video. Then we also have a lot of people out there, CSGO bettors, being very angry at pro players for losing games or possibly throwing games. We'll talk about that on Saturday. And also, very lastly, of course, we're going to talk about the new figurines for CSGO, which could spell the future of CSGO costumes or CSGO characters. We'll talk on that on Saturday, though. But very lastly, guys, my favorite stories for today. We have 2 new members for 2 separate teams. That's going to be 1 member for each team. The first of which, Ghost Gaming at expected Neptune. I have no idea how old this guy is. I believe he's 16 years old. At one point, he didn't know his own age, but he's now able to actually play for ESL Pro League for his second time around. He is eligible age-wise, which I believe is 16 or maybe 17. Either way, Neptune has actually joined that roster, and their first 2 matches, a 2-0 sweep of MIBR. One of those maps was actually very close, but still, you guys know I'm a big Ghost Gaming fan ever since Steel brought them up and Sabro's on the roster. I like a lot of the guys over there, and so I'm very excited to see this new up-and-comer actually play pretty well with the team, especially their first 2 matches, official matches that is, against MIBR. They 2-0 sweep them. I cannot wait for these guys. If I'm going to buy a CSGO jersey, it's likely to be a Ghost Gaming one. Now, very lastly as well, a team I thought was definitely in the dust. They might still be. It's actually going to be, of course, Kading, who left Rogue out of that IGL and Opera role. It's going to be Krystal replacing him on that Rogue roster. It's official, guys, for ESL Pro League as well as ECS. Now, that does regain the IGL spot. I think Krystal is very underrated. People out there do not think he has a lot of talent. I don't mean to be rude. This is what common feedback is. He has a cap when it comes to his IGL skills. I think the latter. I really think he has a lot of potential to actually grow with this team if they stick it out long enough. But can they actually fill the opping role? I think likely right now it's going to be Ricky to revert back to that opping role to actually fill that missing spot. And then we of course have Krystal to take the IGL reins. Will this roster work out? I sincerely really do hope so. And I especially think on the North American side of things, especially with Rogue, how they did at the American qualifiers for the Major, despite not having Katie in this time around, I think they can survive relegation and keep these spots. And again, for an organization like this, that's a huge thing to actually keep that roster going forward. But as always, I hope you guys all enjoy it. I feel so glad to be back here, as well as on the esports news channel. You guys are showing me so much love, and I really cannot thank you guys enough. So for all of you guys who leave comments, all of you guys who leave likes, thank you so much. It means the world to me, and I cannot wait to see the future. We've talked about, to give you guys some inside information, me and my bosses over here have talked about so much, and I can't reveal anything to you guys, but there's just so much planned for the future here, and I cannot wait to get into it. So hope you guys all enjoy. Thank you all for the love and support. I will see you next time. My name is Jake. Remember, I like you. Bye.